Rolling. Okay, so we have a pigtail male electrical plug coming out of this trailer box. Actually, it's the back end of a truck without the wheels and the axles, just dropped, so it's great storage, utility shed. So I'm going to put some lights inside and an outlet. So the first thing I did was drill through the floor inside, and I'll show you that in a bit, and just come out with a little male plug, and we're going to get the juice from an extension cord that runs quite a bit away to an outlet. This is plugged into what we have running along the fence, and that is a 12 gauge extension cord, because it runs for quite a bit. I think at least 75 feet or so, maybe 100 feet or more. And so this is what's going to power the whole trailer. Okay, so basically wiring up 2 LED lights and little electrical outlet that's going to go here in this trailer. And like I mentioned before, this is it's the box off a box truck, commonly known as a van body. And I'm installing 2 LED lights. They're about, let's see, here's the information here, 45 lumens each set, 35 watts of power. And this is Lithonia lighting. Let's see if I got a model number here, just in case you know, for reference. It is UPC upside down. Okay. And the reason why I chose these lights is because we're going to put 2 sets up. They're both up, and I wanted it to be shallow enough to clear the roll-up door, because we got a roll-up door here. And right here on the ceiling, you'll see these cross beams. They're spaced 4 feet apart. These light fixtures are 4 feet long, and here's how I mounted them. All right, and I wish I would have recorded it before I mounted it, just make it a little bit easier to understand. But anyway, right at the very end, I pre-drilled the hole through here. There was like a little punch out where you can see on each side, right? Then I held the back body up against the beams, took a Sharpie, marked it, and then pre-drilled in the beam. And then I used the self-tapping screws to mount it. So I got one on one side and one on the other. And I'm gonna pull the door down in a second so you can see the disassembled fixture better. Okay, so we're looking back towards the roll-up door. Now this is a 16-foot body. And so we decided to put 2 lights here. And to take the cover off, this one has, this is completely assembled. This one, you just pry it in 3 different sections. There's like these little nibs that the cover goes into. And I'll show you quickly here. All right, so this will just snap into place. Of course, you have to tuck all the wires in. And once you get this off, it's just an easy disconnect with this connector here. You just disconnect that from that. Kind of looks like a fluorescent light setup, but it's not, it's LED. So that's the transformer for the system. Remember, you got to take, 120 volts and knock it down to low voltage. And that's what all this is about. You're not going to mess with any of this stuff. The only thing out of this is the ground you'll be using. You'll see it goes to the screw up there. And then here's the hot and the neutral. So we're going to run our romex down there. That's this. And it's 14 gauge romex, good for 15 amps. Let me show you where I came in. And let me open the door to get more light. Okay, so I wanted to drill down through the floor to get in that power that I showed you from outside. And what I wanted to do is get it away from the floor to get away from anything that could be banging against it. So I cut a little access panel here and drilled down through the floor, and that's where I ran the pigtail. It's about a 9-foot pigtail with a male electrical end, and I fished it up here, and here's where you see the end of the pigtail. Okay, and here's my junction box, and this is where I'm starting with the romex. Okay, we're gonna run the romex all the way to where the outlet and the switch is gonna be. And I put this behind the wall, fished it a little bit. You can see that that's exposed, but this is going to be fished. And then I have the box here. So we're going to come down here. We're going to have one outlet on one side, and we're going to have the switch for the lights here. So here's a main feed. And then what we're going to do is come back out and run to this fixture. All right, and then we'll have this one tied right into it. So I'm gonna run this into this fixture, tie the line. We're gonna have, actually, let me pull the door down again. Okay, so we're gonna tie this fixture with this one. So we're just gonna link that with the romex. We're gonna bring that all the way through. And then to keep things a little bit short, I'm going to run this end to the light switch. So we got power coming here, gonna go to the outlet, gonna go to the switch, and then gonna run back up over to this light. Okay, and then we're gonna just tie it in with that light there. Pretty simple system. And like I said, don't worry about all this, just make sure it's tucked in tight. These are all the crimp connectors. And let's see what else. And of course, I'm gonna tie in all the grounds. So this will be a grounded system. You know, the pigtail has a ground on it. And so this is gonna be a fully grounded system. Now that's contingent on where you're plugging the extension cord in and where this is coming from. So if you want this to be a grounded system, you want to make sure wherever you plug in the power to run to the trailer, make sure it's grounded. You can check it with a polarity tester. All right, I'm using 3/8 clamps, 3/8 inch clamps. So basically just to keep the romex in place, put the ring around there, and then another clamp on that side. Let's go. Okay, I'm not going to mount that to the roof because you screw in there, it's going to leak. So it's only about a 2-foot span though. Alright, and we got a wire here, getting ready to wire this in. So let's strip everything. Okay, so a few things. Alright, I'm going to use my 5-foot fish. And it makes a big difference when you're fishing walls. It's very flexible, it's strong. It glows in the dark if you expose it to light first. And it has a little baby hole on each side. And what we're going to do is I'm going to fish this up so we see it pop up on the top. Okay, I'll bend it over. I'll pull the door down in a second. And then what we're gonna do is strip this, and usually use the ground, or we're gonna stick the ground through the tip of that and then pull it through. So, get this back up. Okay. So see that there? What I'm gonna do is hook that through there, so we'll be back momentarily. Okay, so I just put the ground through it. I'm just using the ground because it's exposed already. I don't have to strip it. Bend it with my pliers, and now we're gonna pull it down. Just make sure you have enough wire loose as you're pulling it down. You don't want any resistance. And feed this down. Back. This is a simple fishing situation. Alright, and that's that. And then we're going to run this up and over. So we're just going to strap that over to this beam. Actually, sorry, we're going to strap it over to this beam right here into the light. And this is coming from the switch. We're going to give it power, which is going to give the next one power. And voila, hopefully when I plug everything in, nothing burns down or smokes, it just lights up. Now here's something else what I like about the simple hook method is it's easy to get off. You just pull it around and boom, it's off. Same thing with putting it on here. One hand, oops, one hand and around. You can tape that up with some electrical tape if it's a complicated run and you don't want to do it more than once. But this is really simple, so I made it simple. So yeah, that's what I like about that. Okay, so got the switch wire run, got it tethered with the clamps coming on over. I think I might just put a couple extra clamps here, getting ready to go into the first fixture. We have the neutral hot coming out of the transformer here. So I'm going to cut the wire right here and then strip back a decent amount so I have a little extra. It's always great to have a little extra. Trim it later on if you have to, then cut it too short. So here we go. Okay, so we got some hot coming in for the outlet. We got a switch. Actually, I don't know which is which because I did not mark them. And here's a little trick to find out. So we want to see which one is the switch wire. And so what we're going to do is take this. Now this is when there's no power on and it's, you know, it's a new wiring. What we're going to do is just put a wire cap over this. Okay? Because we're going to ohm it out. This comes off afterwards. This comes right off after we figure out which line is which. Okay, we're going to take the ohm meter. We're going to put it on resistance. And actually you touch the probes together. You see? You got some resistance. And what we're going to do, let's see if I can get some hands-free stuff going on here. What we're going to do is just touch each lead and see if we get a little reading. Okay, see if we got continuity across both wires, which you definitely don't want when everything's all hooked up the right way, but we're just trying to find, and boom, there we go. So this is the switch wire because right now it's completing a circuit, and that's how you test. So what we can do is mark it. Yeah, we can put a little extra switch on that one. That is the switch. Done. Okay. Take the cap off this. And we have successfully ohmed out the wire. Now this is definitely not something you do if you do not know what you're doing. And this is new construction. And you know, I know where the wire is going and coming from. There's no chance of electric in the system. And that's why I ohmed it out the way I showed you. Now, if it's if you're doing wiring in your home, it's unknown where the other side is. First thing you do is make sure there's no electric, but that's one of the tricks. So there you go. Okay, wiring time. So, got this all attached to the beam, coming into the first lights fixture. So we're gonna wire all the hots together. So this hot coming from the switch to this light, and then we got this, right, coming from the other light. So all the hots together, all the neutrals together, and all the grounds together. Remember, we got the ground here. Okay. Then we're gonna take that fixture, the LED part, and snap it back in here. And then the last thing to do basically is just wire up the box here. And so we're getting close. Okay, so we got the neutrals all in. I'm pulling on every wire to make sure it's tight. And afterwards, I'm gonna put a little piece of tape around that too, electrical tape. And next we're gonna do the hots. All right. So let's see, the last thing we're gonna do is put tape around the caps. Okay. And basically, in the event that a cap may come loose, at least this keeps this from popping out and grounding out. But you know, make sure that every wire in a cap is nice and tight by doing the pull test, even the grounds. All right, so now we're going to tuck all the wires in. We're going to bend them up so they won't get in the way when we put the outside of the light on. And maybe to make life easier, if you want, you can put a piece of tape on the romex coming in and to hold it in place. And just gonna throw a piece out here, keep the romex in place. You're not strong enough. Yeah. Then get all these splices up in there, and remember, we want to have this connector ready to plug into the light itself. Okay, in the meantime, let's just get everything ready. This is the grounds that we want to cram up there. Right, get this, that, and as we're putting the cover on, we may want to just push it over. Okay, get that out of here. And yeah, so as we put the cover on, we're probably just going to have to finagle with all these wires. Okay. And now the fun part. Let's see. All right, so let's flip the connector in. And this goes this way. That is in. And now we're going to slowly kind of like push the wires in. Get them out of the way. We don't want to crimp them at all. And we can start at one side at a time. Hey, there's a little stress test going on here, right? You'll snap that side in and work our way over. Just stick your fingers in here and kind of push the wires. Make sure they're not going to get stuck in here. And, okay, that's that. Boom. Okay. Alright. Alright, so we got this tethered to there. What I'm going to do is just push this in a little bit more and tighten the clamp. This way this line will be nice and tight, and then we're going to wire up the switch. Okay, looking good. So we got the junction box wired up. This is the feed coming in, the pigtail from outside the trailer. We have the line running all the way over down to the box. We got a little outlet, we got the switch to break the circuit for the lights. And so we're gonna go around and we're gonna plug it in, and we're gonna get an extension. Okay, so we're getting ready to plug in the feed from the trailer. Here's an extension cord going down the fence, and I just put in a 3-way here. First thing to do is take a polarity tester and stick it in without touching the probes. Make sure everything's good here. We got juice in the polarities, right? Okay, so the 2 left yellow lights are on. It means polarity is good and it is grounded. So next, pull that baby out. When the Venus is outside, we're going to tape this up with some electrical tape to waterproof it a bit. Okay, so now we have the line coming down here. We're going to tidy this up a bit, getting ready to plug it into the trailer. Okay, so we're going to plug this in and hope nothing smokes up and goes on fire. So let's do it. And let's see. Set this up. Hands free. Let's just double check this. And okay, polarity is good, ground is good. And we're gonna plug this in. Hopefully no fires, and I'm gonna go inside and see how everything looks. Okay, so let's check the outlet first. And all right, it is polarized properly, and we got ground. And the next thing is the lights. Whoa, baby. Okay, so we got some light action going on here. And it's the second row, the other one's buried under the door, and it's a good thing it's LED because it's not going to heat up much. And I'm going to pull the door down. Let's see. Okay, door is down. I'm going to take a long shot this way. And so there we go. They're both working. All right, switcherooski working good. Bottom outlet good. Let's check the top one, good. All right, let's do a review of how we came in here. So as I showed you before, behind that wood, I just excavated a little bit in there because I didn't want to drill straight down. Just in case, you know, anything moving in, it wouldn't hit the electric. And I fished it all the way up here. Now this is the pigtail. I got like a 9-foot pigtail from Home Depot. Okay, got the junction box. You should never wire an electrical connection and not have it contained within a box. It's pretty much, it's code, universal code across the US, lots of other areas. Anyway, so we got the pigtail come in the box. wired it up to the romex, and that romex goes all the way down to the back end of the trailer where the door is. And I fished that feed line down here, and we ran it to the outlet, pigtailed off that to get power for the lights, put it on a switch, right? We're coming back up, we're coming across here, and it's feeding the first light, and then the other light is connected, came out from there, ran it in here, and everything is all connected in there. And the trailer is very well lit. We got 2 units that are, check the lumens again. All right, that's the brand. And lumens is 4500. The light spectrum is 4000K, so we're more like daylight. And 35 watts of power each, so it's 70 watts. So it's like having a 70-watt light bulb running. And of course, this is temporary. And so there you go. All right, so I'll have all the equipment I use, any supplies listed in the description below. And appreciate it if you give this a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll have a lot of other cool do-it-yourself stuff. Thanks for watching.